greeted him that morning, and President Kennedy was one of these gentlemen that he knew everyone. And so when he came on board, he knew who I was, and he says, "Good morning, Airman Holden." I says, "Good morning, Mr. President." And that morning I had picked up a couple of newspapers from the local newspapers, English edition, and there had been 2 UFOs spotted over the Autobahn, and clear pictures right on the front page. And so I had them sitting on the table, and I'd asked him if he would like some juice and coffee, and he said juice would be fine, thank you. And by that time he looked down at the paper and saw what was there, and he looked up at me and says, "Well, what do you think?" And then I says, "Well, what do you think, sir?" And he looked back at me, and with that phenomenal smile of his, he says, "I asked you first." So I laughed about that, and I said, "Well, sir, I'm an old Southern boy from down in Georgia, and my grandfather was Methodist preacher down there, and for us to believe that we're the only intelligent beings in the world is unbelievable." So yes, I believe that there is such thing as other human species as well as UFOs.
And what did he say?
He says, "You're right, young man." And I just wish I knew then what I know now to have been able to go ahead and ask the President some of the questions that I have today.
Wonderful. So, did you have any other conversations with him as time went on?
Not really. As you know, we unfortunately lost him in November of 1963.
Right.
And the anniversary flight the following year, I was with his brother Robert and the Ford family, his wife, and some of the 2 of the children. And we went back and did the anniversary flight to the Ishpeming Berliner, and then actually we had Princess Lee Radziwill on board, and we had the opportunity to actually go see the Radziwill estate in Poland.
Uh-huh. And did you talk to Robert Kennedy about that?
No, I did not.
Okay. So you just, that was basically kind of that experience. Now, did you have, I don't know what a person on Air Force One would have in your position. Was that a top secret clearance, or was that any kind of clearance at all?
It's known as a top hat, and it means it's above a top secret because you may hear something in conversation on board the aircraft, and whatever is said there stays there.
Okay.
And that's our responsibility.
Okay, but the
Right.
conversation between you and Kennedy, you were able to kind of, you've spoken about it since at conferences and so on. Was this a, conscious decision of yours to come out, and or was this because of that experience, or was it because of other experiences you had that made you come forward?
There were many other experiences that occurred. As far as 3 particular in my military